Hello friends! Since it is still fall, today we are crocheting a mini foldable pumpkin bag. It has a cute little pumpkin shape and inside is a little bag. I designed it so that in both its forms there's a pumpkin present. The drawstring also makes it easy to open and close. For the materials, you will need orange, brown, and green yarn. You will also need a 4mm hook, scissors, and a threading needle. This pattern isn't super complicated, just make sure to pay attention whether you're crocheting in rows or rounds because we will be doing both in this pattern. To start off, we are crocheting the pumpkin shell, and the pumpkin shell is crocheted in rows. For row 1, chain 16. Then, starting from the second chain from the hook, make a half double crochet in the next 12 stitches. Then, after that, slip stitch in the last 3 stitches. This is what it should look like after the first row. You should have a total of 15 stitches. And then we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. From now on, we are going to work in the back loops only. Starting row 2, we are going to slip stitch in the next 3 stitches. And then following that, we are going to half double crochet in the last 12 stitches. As you can see, working to the back loops help create these ridges to form the details of the pumpkin. Now to finish off the row, we're going to chain 1 and then turn our work. For row 3, we are going to half double crochet in the next 12 stitches. Then slip stitch in the last 3 stitches. And then chain 1 and turn. We are going to repeat this back and forth until we reach row 32. Once you get to row 32, it should look something like this. Now to close the pumpkin shell, we are going to fold it in half, and then we're going to slip stitch the sides together to close the ends. Here, I slip stitched through only the front loops of both seams. We're going to use the tail to sew the bottom closed, so make sure that you leave the tail long enough that wraps around the bottom of the pumpkin. Stitch the bottom in a zigzag pattern in order to close it like a drawstring. Once you've made your way around, pull the string to close the hole. And then sew in the tail to secure it in place. Now we're going to single crochet around the top of the shell to create a border. I started my single crochets along the seam of the shell. There should be a total of 48 single crochets at the end of this border. To ensure that, put 3 single crochets in between each ridge of the pumpkin. One in the beginning of the edge, one in the middle, and one at the end of the edge. So here I'm single crocheting into the beginning, now the middle, and now the end. Once again, the beginning, middle, and then the end. Once you've finished, slip stitch to the first stitch to join. Now we're going to start making the inner bag, and the inner bag will be crocheted in rounds. Start by chaining 4. We're going to skip the next stitch and then double crochet in the following one. For this first round, we're going to be crocheting in the back loops only. Next, chain 1, skip a stitch, and double crochet in the following stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way around, and you should have a total of 24 double crochets at the end of the round. If I'm also counting the chain 1 in between the double crochets, then there should be a total of 48 stitches in the round. Once you've reached the end and only have 1 stitch left, chain 1 and then slip stitch around the beginning chain. You could either slip stitch around the chain or slip stitch into the 3rd stitch on the chain. Now we're just going to repeat what we did in round 1 all the way until round 8. But this time, instead of crocheting into the back loops only, we're going to crochet into both loops. Now we are starting row 9, and this is where we're going to start to make our handle. So we're going to be crocheting the same thing as we've done before in all the previous rounds up until the 3rd double crochet. So this is the 1st double crochet, and then the 2nd, and now finally the 3rd. After that, chain 29. Now skip 4 double crochets and double crochet into the 5th double crochet below. Now continue on as before for the next 7 double crochets. Once you've reached the 7th double crochet, chain 29 again. Skip 4 double crochets and double crochet into the 5th double crochet below. And then continue like before and finish the round. This is how it should look after you finish the round. For round 10, our final round, we're going to repeat what we've been doing since round 1, which is double crocheting, skipping 1, and then chaining 1. Continue to do the same on our chain to create the handle. Once you've reached the end of the round, fasten off and weave in the ends. Now we're going to create the drawstring portion of the bag. Start by slip stitching our yarn on the top of the shell. Then we're going to chain 3, then skip 1, and then half double crochet into the following stitch. We're basically just half double crocheting into all the empty stitches. After your half double crochet, chain 1, skip a stitch, and then half double crochet into the following stitch. You're going to repeat this all the way around. There should be a total of 24 half double crochets by the end of the round. Once you have 1 stitch left in the round, chain 1 and then slip stitch into the second stitch on the chain to join the round. Then for the final round, chain 1 and then single crochet into every stitch in the round for a total of 48 single crochets. Once you've reached the end of the round, fasten off and weave in the ends. Now we're just going to make the string for the bag. To start off, chain 13. In order to create the curly vine part, we're going to have to increase in the next 12 stitches. Make sure you skip the first stitch and start on the second stitch from the hook. Once you're done, it should look something like this. After that, we're going to create the string part that goes around the bag. So for this, chain until you reach your desired length. Once you reach your desired string length, we're going to start creating the second little curly vine part. So after your string, chain an additional 13. So we're just going to repeat what we did in the beginning and increase into the next 12 stitches. Now just fasten off and weave in the ends. Now that you have finished your string, just weave it back and forth through the holes on the top of the shell. Now we're almost done with the bag. All we have left is to create the stem. The stem will be crocheted in rows, so for row 1, chain 16. Starting from the second chain from the hook, single crochet into the next 15 stitches. When you have finished the row, chain 1 and turn your work. Now single crochet into the next 11 stitches. Now increase into the last 4 stitches. Once you've reached the end, chain 1 and turn your work. For this final row, we're going to single crochet into every stitch in the row for a total of 19 single crochets. In the end, your stem should resemble a little candy cane. Now we're going to sew in our stem, so make sure you leave a long tail for sewing. To curl your stem, just simply twist the top. So we're going to place our stem in the middle of the bag, so place it through the hole and attach it onto the shell. Make sure you sew into the back loops of the shell only so it doesn't seep through into the front. Now we're going to attach it to the back of our drawstring portion. And finally, when you weave in those ends, you've got yourself a little bag. And with that, it ends our tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this tutorial was easy to follow. If you have any ideas on what I should make next, leave them in the comments below. Until next time, bye!